before jury is brought in. Judge, the messages at issue that the defense wants to get in, can't you redact them? Combs, Tenny Garagos, we shouldn't have it. It's consistent with our theory. They opened. Judge, they didn't open the door. AUSA Comey, on direct we elicited testimony about the end of the relationship in 2024. There were no texts, but oral communications. This self-serving voice note by the defendant should not come in. By December 2023, he was trying to make a record for litigation. Judge, what about Ms. Garagos questioning Jane about this, without introducing the voice note? AUSA Comey, that too might confuse the jury. The defendant was trying to feed Jane a narrative throughout their relationship. The hearsay rule precludes this. AUSA Comey, if the defendant wants to take the stand and subject himself to cross-examination, then fine. Judge, the questions without the voice note would not be for the truth of the matter asserted. AUSA Comey, this would be a backdoor way to get this in. Judge, so I agree with the government on those portions of the voice notes and order them excluded. Some questions will be permitted. If you feel there becomes a basis for introduction, you can call for a sidebar. Now, the U.S. wants more of Jane's notes or diary. Judge, once there is a motive to fabricate, the statements cannot come in as a prior consistent statement. This fact pattern does not appear to have previously arisen. 2 time periods. Defense argues it would be improper. They post-date the lawsuit. AUSA Comey, I know we are delayed in bringing the jury in, so I don't want to push about getting this in. Judge, go ahead and push. It's just that the government already put in a lot of messages on this. AUSA Comey, we want in her I felt obligated 98% of the time. Judge, I'm going to reserve. Now, can we bring in Jane? AUSA Comey, Your Honor, we made an application through your deputy. Judge, I think it is reflected on this post-it note. Judge, let's have a brief discussion in the robing room with Jane and Jane's counsel. Combs is Tenny Garagos. Can I come too? Judge, of course. 9:53 a.m. They are still in the robing room, but whatever is being discussed has not been docketed, despite this prior application by Inner City Press. 9:59 a.m. Counsel, including to Jane, are still in the robing room with Judge Subramanian. Sean Combs has been taken by marshals back into the holding cell. Bathroom break, 10:05 a.m. Counsel are back from the robing room. Now Agnifilo, Shapiro, and Steele huddle around Combs, talking with him. A decision to be made. 10:08 a.m. Now Xavier Donaldson goes from middle to back table to talk with Combs. Meanwhile, Agnifilo is in the front talking with AUSA Comey. Jane's still not on the witness stand. 10:29 a.m. Now Combs speaking one-on-one with Nicole Westmoreland as Driscoll and Xavier Donaldson stand between the tables. This all began before 10 a.m., more than half an hour now. 10:38 a.m. A moment ago, Combs was smiling, even laughing. Now he puts his head in his hands. 10:40 a.m. Judge, Ms. Garagos, are you ready to proceed? Combs, Agnifilo, he had this discussion in the back. Mr. Combs was not present. I would like to lodge this objection. We litigated this over pseudonyms. Judge, let's take a step back. Judge, I can clear this courtroom if we need to. Combs, Agnifilo, no need, I will conform my comments to open court. A reason trials and names are public is so people who were there can come forward. We objected to a pseudonym with Mia, now this. Combs, Agnifilo, the events in the hotel room on January 24, 2024, I appreciate the balancing, but we maintain the constitutional right to a fully public trial remains. We didn't consent to these events being not fully public. Combs, Agnifilo, part of the public nature of the trial is for the information to reach the public so other witnesses can come forward. I wanted my client to hear this. Judge, Ms. Comey, AUSA, Comey, as long as the answer remains no, we are fine. AUSA, Comey, their argument to say the name is an attempt to harass. Judge, and this event in the hotel is not one of the alleged acts of trafficking. It's just collateral. It's not a real concern. AUSA, Comey, the identity of those there is not a defense. All rise. Jurors, I apologize how long this took. We did things to save you time. Jane, you are still under oath. Proceed. Combs Tenia Garagos. Good morning. Let's look at your message where you said, I feel as your lover I wanted to please you. Push through. What you really wanted was the cuddle with Mr. Combs, our intimate time. Tell me about the mobile TV you got him. It was an LG, cordless, you can move it around. And see your movies on it? Yes. After Cassie's lawsuit went public, how were things? I came to find out that another woman had the same experiences I had. I put that energy on him and he was already down, so resentment. Everything was hard. A hard month? Yes. Let's play the voice note. I don't want to be in a relationship like this. I don't want to make anyone feel like this. Let's end this cycle so you don't feel like I wasted your life. Are there more messages like this? Yes. Did Sean often say to you, I'm a solutions person, I just want solutions? Yes. You wrote, I tolerated. I took on a lot in those rooms. Please don't discredit me. And he wrote, never discredit you. Yes. You wrote that you wanted $100,000 for each year wasted here, and more $450,000. You wrote this, right? Yes. And you said you were thinking of hurting yourself, and he said don't. He cared. I don't know about that. You said you didn't have friends at that time. Objection. I can rephrase. You said you talked about your feelings with Sean because you didn't have other people? Okay. Sean still paid your rent? Yes. The $9,000 from Bear? You had known him from your modeling days? Yes. Did you have to do any work for the $9,000? No. The rapper you mentioned, he was close with Mr. Combs? Yes. Video played. No sound available to public. This rapper, they would record together. He's also an icon in the music industry. Yes. You went to the birthday with the rapper's wife or girlfriend. Did you know Anton traveled with them? Yes. And Mr. Combs knew? Yes. When Anton was having intercourse with the woman, how many people were in the room? 7 or 8, just watching. The rapper was flirting with you? Yes. You flashed your chest to the room. Who asked you to? It was just the moment. What did the rapper say to you? That he had always wanted to sleep with me. So he had a crush on you? Yes. How did you bring up Cabral Slide? They asked if I knew anyone else in the lifestyle. I said yes. At the time, I thought Cabral was a safe and confidential person. That was for the rapper and his partner. Yes. How did they know to ask you? Maybe they just picked up the energy or heard that Sean and I were into the lifestyle. You flew to Miami around the time of your birthday? Yes. He set up a grandiose birthday for you? Yes. There were candles on the walkway? It was very romantic. His heart was beating. Was your heart beating as well? Yes, I was just about to say that. It's all painted pink and silver. A 5-course dinner, what I wanted from my partner. No substances like ecstasy at the dinner? No, none. Afterward, you took a pill and he took a pill and Don came over? Yes, at 1 star. You said you were willing to have intercourse with Don because of the birthday party? Yes, it was nice. Garagos. This is between you and Paul Arthur, in which you asked, do you have plans for Valentine's Day? Jane, right? Garagos. You said you wanted to see Paul as a person. Jane, yes. Garagos. You said after Cassie's lawsuit you saw changes in Sean. Jane, yes. Garagos. You said Sean would write to you, I'm single, I'm polyamorous. And that hurt you? Jane, yes. Garagos. After the lawsuit, he went back to saying, we are in a relationship. You are my girlfriend. That meant a lot to you? Jane, it did. Garagos. When you saw the video of Mr. Combs laying hands on Cassie, you felt sick. Jane, I did. Garagos. That wasn't the man you knew, right? Jane, right. Now there's another sidebar discussion with the judge. They return. Garagos. You remained in contact with Mr. Combs after that video. Jane, yes. Garagos. You stayed in Miami with him for a few days and then left? Jane, I did. Garagos. He flew to LA in June with his kids? Jane, yes. Garagos. Fair to say Mr. Combs posted about his road trip with his kids on social media? Jane, yes. Garagos. This is a photo of how you set up the house, part by you, part by Jonathan? Jane, yes. Garagos. And this is a big bottle of Clico. Jane, yes. Garagos, and this is a photo out on the patio, right? Jane, yes. Garagos, you were drinking champagne? Jane, yes. Garagos, it was 8:30 p.m., already dark. Tequila shots, but no ecstasy, right? Jane, right. Garagos, Jonathan brought the candles? Jane, yes. Garagos, let's play the video. Video plays. Music and Combs' voice about the Boston Celtics. Garagos, half an hour later you were fighting, right? Jane, yes. Garagos, you testified you called him a predator, even though you knew she wasn't underage. Jane, right. Garagos, and you pushed his head into the counter. Jane, I did. Garagos, you'd never had a physical altercation with him before that. Jane, I had not. Garagos, you pushed medium hard? Jane, yes. Garagos, and you threw a candle at him? Jane, yes. Garagos, when you say you locked the door, it was a button lock. Jane, yes. Garagos, so he didn't force open a physical lock, but it was a button. Jane, right. Garagos, what was he saying? Jane, that I was crazy. There was a lot of yelling. Garagos, you went into the closet? Jane, yes. Garagos, you take your workout seriously, right?
Jane, yes.
Garagos, but instead of putting on activewear, you put on a dress. Why?
Jane, because I could put it on easily.
Garagos, after the altercation, when you ran and hid behind the wall, where was your phone?
Jane, back inside the house.
Garagos, when you went back, did you see Mr. Combs?
Jane, he was outside on the street.
Garagos, this had been hours.
Jane, it had.
Garagos, you were angry and screaming, and you called him a predator?
Jane, I called him a monster.
Garagos, but he didn't kick you again?
Jane, he didn't.
Garagos, you punched him in the back of the head and he punched you?
Jane, he punched me twice.
Jay, break. Break. Jury out of the room? Jay, I'd like lead counsel and counsel for Jane to come to the robing room. Combs, Agnifilo, I'd like to do this in the presence of Mr. Combs. Comey, if this is about the issue we discussed in the robing room, we have concerns? Jay, okay, sidebar, 12:48 p.m. back from sidebar. Jay, I'm really just going to break for lunch. There's nothing to put on the record. Break. They're back. Headphones being set up in jury box. Defense wants to play something sealed at the end of their cross-examination. Judge, I understand the government says we can break earlier tomorrow, so we don't have to deal with evidentiary issues now. Let's just finish Jane's testimony. Bring the witness and jury back in. All rise. Garagos. While you were fighting, Mr. Combs was yelling, "You're trying to get me to never see my kids again, right?"
Jane, yes.
Garagos, you said he was dragging you by your hair, right?
Jane, yes. I was telling him to stop.
Garagos, you got his phone?
Jane, yes.
Garagos, and you called the woman in Miami?
Jane, yes.
Garagos, you asked her, did you go to the Grand Canyon with him? I'm asking you woman to woman.
Jane, yes.
Garagos, and she said, you're worrying about the wrong things, woman to woman?
Jane, yes. Jane, I told her, he's hurting me. Then Sean hung up the phone. She called back multiple times. His phone lit up.
Did she call you names?
Jane, yes.
Garagos, did you talk about her previous relationships?
Jane, maybe.
Garagos, then after you called Jonathan, you were in the shower naked, but Mr. Combs was in pants.
Jane, shorts.
Garagos, and you called him something offensive. Jane, just called him annoying. Garagos, okay, and then he slapped you? Jane, yes, hard. Garagos, then he told you to put on an outfit? Jane, yes. Garagos, and he grabbed your phone? Jane, he went into the messages and said hi to Anton in the thread. Garagos, this was about the night in January you flew to Las Vegas. Jane, yes. Garagos, how far is it from your house in the gated community to the gate? Jane, a minute or two. Garagos, so like half a mile. Jane, yes, I drove and let Anton in. Garagos, champagne and tequila, But still no drugs? Jane. Right. Garagos. You and Sean went into the bedroom. You told him you went to Vegas? Jane. Yes. Garagos. You told him you exposed your body? Jane. Not then. Garagos. You told him you'd referred Cabral to the other rapper? Jane. Not yet. Garagos. Did Mr. Combs yell, "How could you go to another man's gathering?" Jane. Yes, he yelled that. Garagos. Then you said Sean told you go out and be with him, and you said no? Jane. I said no. Then he pushed a pill in my face. Garagos. But you didn't have full intercourse with Anton? Jane. Not that kind. Garagos. You performed oral? Jane. Yes. Garagos. Then Sean dismissed him. You told Anton you'd send him money later. Jane. I did. Garagos. This was the first time you didn't have an intimate moment with your partner after the guest left. Jane. Yes. Garagos. And Sean kept saying, "How could you go to another man's gathering?" Jane. Yes. Garagos. After that, you and Sean called and texted each other. Jane. Yes. Garagos. You went to see him and broke up. Jane. We had an 8 or 9 hour breakup conversation. Garagos. You saw him traveling with another woman in Wyoming, and it upset you. Jane. I was at home with a black eye. Garagos. You hadn't had forced intercourse with Anton. Jane. It was forced oral. Garagos. Let's play a video, not for public audio. Headphones on, gallery hears nothing. Garagos. I'll read his response. Mr. Combs said, "I'm not going to belittle myself for someone named Bear, or for my friend." That means the rapper, right? Jane. Yes. Garagos. Mr. Combs wrote, "Sorry I didn't take you on trips. I was acting out. The baby daddy thing, you and KK would have driven yourself paranoid. You didn't get along with KK. Jane. I didn't. Garagos. Put on the headphones and press play. Silence in court gallery. Garagos. Pause there. You brought up OnlyFans. You'd been on it 4 or 5 months, earning well, right? Jane. Yes. Garagos. You asked him why he couldn't balance things, hotel nights and private travel? Jane. Right. Garagos. You wrote, "Did the other girls just pressure you more for trips and I didn't? I just want to know where I went wrong." Mr. Combs said, "That is my friend. I was okay where we should stop." Now press play and stop. No sound in public gallery. Garagos. You said, "We broke up and I went to one birthday party, not with the rapper, but with my friend." Garagos. You wrote, "I don't even have anything postable." You meant Instagram? Jane. I did. Garagos. You wrote about your child's father. You said, "I'm in my late 30s. I don't have time. Play more video." Silence. Garagos. That last part, that's about your child's father? Jane. Yes. Garagos. You wrote, "I just wanted to travel with you." Jane. Yes. Garagos. You sent the clown emoji and said, "If I'd done more, maybe I'd have gotten to go on trips." Garagos. Then you went to Miami and stayed at the Four Seasons. You chose that hotel? Jane. Yes. Garagos. You took drugs and danced? Jane. Yes. Garagos. You were finally getting the princess treatment you wanted. Jane. Yes. Garagos. Then you told Mr. Combs you really missed Paul. Jane. I had taken something, but I did miss Paul. Garagos. You called Paul and he came a few days later. You were at 2-Star? Jane. Yes. Garagos. And it felt like a love fest? Jane. Yes. Garagos. On June 1st this year, you had a new memory of Mr. Combs splashing water on you, right? Jane. If I may explain. Garagos. Just, did you tell the government that on June 1st? Jane. Yes. Garagos. Why did you call yourselves Kobe, Jordan, and Shaq? Why were you Kobe? Jane. Because I'm the best. Garagos. And why is he Jordan? Jane. Because he's the best. Garagos. This is about Pamela Anderson, Melons, left off. Garagos. What did you say? Jane. I wrote, "You are definitely my Michael Jordan, and I am Kobe. Detox weekend." Garagos. You said, "Good morning, handsome," and he said, Can you please find a therapist? Jane. Yes, we loved each other, but there was toxic stuff. Garagos. But it ended on a positive note? Jane. Yes, it did. Garagos. No further questions. Judge. Redirect? AUSA Comey? Sidebar? Judge. Yes. Judge. Jurors, you may have a comfort break and avoid the white noise. AUSA Comey. The cross argued that this witness had a motive to lie. That opens the door for the one sentence I've been asking to admit as a prior consistent statement. Judge, how does this relate to an event that occurred months later? AUSA Comey. It's connected to their point that Jane is shaping her testimony to align with the government's theory that she was coerced. AUSA Comey. Jane testified on the stand for days after receiving immunity. She didn't try to seek a financial settlement, but the jury might think she's tailoring her story to please prosecutors. Combs Driscoll. It's hearsay. Their theory is weak. Judge, Ms. Comey, how long do you anticipate your redirect? AUSA Comey, 30 minutes. Judge, let's take a break first. Combs is Shapiro. Your Honor, may I? Judge exits. Break. They're back. Judge, defense, in what way does Jane's lawsuit resemble the influence discussed in the Tome case? Combs is Driscoll. She could still file a lawsuit. Judge, the application to admit the exhibit is denied. The government hasn't provided supporting authority. Jane re-enters. Jurors return. AUSA Comey, Exhibit G101, page 6 and 7. Let's zoom in. What did Sean write to Paul? Jane. He wrote, I'm gonna need you to persuade you. AUSA. Had you seen that before? Jane. No. AUSA. What did you write to Paul about Turks? Jane. I'm not a robot. Just tired, hungry, sore. AUSA. Next. Jane. To insult me about the bracelet, to make me perform, it crushed me. AUSA. What else? Jane. In that room, I felt degraded. AUSA. Then what? Jane. The love contract. He showers me with affection between exploitation. I had to compartmentalize the bad stuff. AUSA. In May 2021, did you ask for protection? Jane. Yes. Sean resisted but then agreed. AUSA. What about the next time? Jane. He mocked him. AUSA. Did Sean allow you to use protection? Jane. Yes. AUSA. Did you ever want to be intimate with Cabral? Jane. No. AUSA. Did you fake pleasure with entertainers? Jane. Yes. I was performing for Sean. AUSA. When did Sean threaten to release a video of you? Jane. December 2023. I called KK. AUSA. How did you signal to Sean that you were tired from his substance use? Jane. Little faces. Sighs. AUSA. How did he respond? Jane. Push through one more round. AUSA. How did you try to avoid hotel nights? Jane. I try to steer the evening in another direction. AUSA. How many hotel nights at 200 Mapleton? Jane. Once. AUSA. At 2-star? Jane. 3 times. AUSA. At 1-star? Jane. Once or twice. Jane. I felt it was unfair. All the pressure. AUSA. What do you mean? Jane. Those nights with other men. Sobs. I'd ask, why do I have to break my boundaries and still be treated like this? AUSA. What's this message? Jane. The all-star fantasy. AUSA. What did you send Sean? Jane. A photo of a used hygiene item. AUSA. What did you write? Jane. I got childcare, said, you pick. Then everything went wrong. I said, I just got my period. I handled the first school week. AUSA. In 2023, did you start speaking up more about ending hotel nights? Jane. Yes. He was paying my rent. I had to survive. He was in control. AUSA. By the sobriety party, how often had he threatened your rent? Jane. Many times. AUSA. After you threw up, what did Sean do? Jane. He told me to go back out there and be with another man. AUSA. Was Sean affectionate when Anton was in your home? Jane. No. Sean was cruel. AUSA. What did Sean say when giving you the pill? Jane. You're not ruining my night. Go do what I told you. AUSA. How long before that had he put you in a chokehold? Combs's Garagos. Objection. Judge. Sustained. AUSA. Did he choke you with his hands or his arm? Jane. His arm. AUSA. In the shower. How hard did he hit you? Jane. Extremely hard. AUSA. Then what did he say? Jane. Get in a proper outfit. AUSA. When you hid for 2 hours, could Sean have safely left? Jane. Yes. AUSA. Did you want to be with Anton that night? Jane. No. AUSA. Who made you? Jane. Sean. AUSA. Would you give back all the money to never have gone through that? Jane. Yes. AUSA. Why are you here? Jane. I was subpoenaed. That's why I'm here. AUSA. No further questions. Judge. Ms. Garagos, recross? Recross, Garagos. You drove to pick up Anton? Jane. Yes. Garagos. Could you have left? Jane. Yes. Garagos. The only time nothing happened between you and Anton was January 2024, right? Jane. Right. Garagos. Anton drove himself into your compound? Jane. Yes. Garagos. You let him in? Jane. Yes. As requested. Garagos. You lift weights? Jane. Yes. But a woman's strength doesn't overcome a man's. Garagos. Did you hit Sean's head against the counter? Jane. Yes. Garagos. You've seen the Intercontinental video. Jane. Yes. Garagos. Did you refer Cabral to another rapper in January 2024? Jane. Yes. Garagos. You said you'd give back money to not be with those men, but not your home? Jane. My child and I live there. It's hard. Garagos. You receive $5,000 per month in child support. Jane. Yes. Garagos. Your child's father is wealthy? Jane. Yes. Garagos. Mr. Combs sent you $150,000 over 3 years. Jane. Is that all my 3 years are worth? Garagos. You think you're worth more than $150,000? Jane. Does he? Garagos. What's the most you've made on OnlyFans in 1 month? Jane. $50,000. But it varies. Garagos. You said you were hungry to indicate you didn't want intimacy. Jane. Yes. Garagos. Didn't Sean bring you food? Jane. He knew what I meant. Garagos. But did he give you food? Jane. Yes. Garagos. Did you tell Cabral it had been enjoyable? Jane. Yes. But, Garagos, you got Sean a mobile TV to show him videos of you with entertainers? Jane. So I wouldn't have to go through it again. Garagos. Sometimes you just watch the videos, no one else involved? Jane. All of it was terrible. Garagos. But did you, Judge? Jane, if you can, just answer the question. Jane. Yes. Garagos. What did you see preparing for this? Jane. My truth. Garagos. Did you see records of nights where nothing happened? Jane. Lucky me. Garagos. But there were such nights? Jane. Thank God. Garagos. How did seeing Sean's message to Paul make you feel? Jane. How would you feel? Garagos. Please answer. Jane. Now that I've seen the message, probably I did have a hotel night. Garagos. You're changing your testimony? Combs Garagos. No further questions. Judge. Redirect. Redirect. AUSA Comey. What had Sean done to you before asking you to pick up Anton? Garagos. Objection. Judge. Overruled. Jane. He slapped me. Garagos. No further questions. Judge. Thank you, Jane. Jane exits. Judge. Jurors, you may leave. Jurors exit. AUSA Slavic. We need rulings so Ms. Sankar can prepare her summary charts. Judge. I received a letter yesterday. AUSA. These are chat messages between the defendant, KK, Fahim, and Robin, his accountant. We will redact the message about buying a luxury vehicle. Judge. If anyone in the gallery wishes to leave, please do so now. If you remain, stay until we conclude. Judge. Can we shorten this exhibit? Remove the flowers reference. AUSA. Flowers means marijuana. Combs Driscoll. That's the first we're hearing that. AUSA. There's also a mention of paying someone named Guido, a supplier. Other 49-page chats are already in evidence. Judge. Who will testify about flowers? AUSA, 2 witnesses. Judge, A518, AUSA, D-Rock, Fahim, and the defendant. They counted $1 million in cash by hand. Driscoll, that's not clearly relevant. Talks about a safe. It's prejudicial. Derek Ferguson spoke of millions. This next exhibit, a ledger. It shows drugs and romantic partners. Driscoll, not authenticated. Judge, this exhibit, the objection is sustained. If foundation is laid, I'll hear it. Combs, Driscoll. This next exhibit is about an alleged victim who is not testifying. They just want to portray the defendant as a bad person. AUSA, Gina was a romantic partner. AUSA. Although Gina will not be testifying, George Kaplan testified about violence against her. Gina was identified as victim 3. Judge, I will look back at this. Hopefully this helps with the charts. If you have 2, AUSA, I apologize, but, Judge, I was still talking. Combs, Agnifilo. May we have a bathroom break? Combs is led into the holding cell by marshals. AUSA, if we can't resolve the chart, Ms. Sanker can testify Monday. KK's in these charts. Judge, okay, Monday. Shapiro, until 8:30 for letter on juror, okay.